Hey guys, Andrew Adams of the Vimbasi Warriors here. So today in this video, what I'm going to be helping you out with is getting you to understand two really just basic principles that unfortunately aren't that commonly known. And you fail to carry out these principles and understand these and ingrain them in your character, you're likely going to be one of those people that have a lot of trouble with taking the relationship in the direction that you want to. Say you go out and you meet somebody. If you don't have these down, it's very likely that you're probably moving in the direction of kind of just being friends, or maybe you're not friends, but it just doesn't really go anywhere. This is also really applicable for people. I coach people from all different walks of life, men, women, predominantly men, but from the age of 20 all the way up to 60, single, married, all these different things. People with, backgrounds of being Christian, Mormon, or Buddhist people, atheists, agnostics, everything. This is really going to be applicable to the people, though, that kind of fall in that religious structure category where maybe they want to hold off till marriage to have sex with whoever they're dating. And they have a hard time figuring out how to relate to a woman in a sexual manner or in a romantic manner that actually evokes passion and actually evokes the relationship they want. I've seen that a lot of people in that position. I have no desire to change their mentality about, if that's you, I don't have any desire to change your mentality about what your belief is as to when you want to engage in a sexual relationship with somebody that you're interested in. But there is a mentality that's really holding people back from making it clear to the people that they're interested in that they're interested in them. So principle number one, you can't, it's the notion of like, we're going to be friends first and then we're going to transition it into something else. It's not true. That's not possible. It's only possible if there is an element of romantic, a romantic feeling or a sexual feeling. Like there's a little twinge of it that's in the dynamic that's understood by both people, not just one person going, oh yeah, I'm into her, and she's completely clueless to it. But the only way that people actually go from a friendship situation into something else is actually when there's this tension, this sexual tension or this flirtatious tension, this romantic vibe. But in general, think about any area of life. If I got on a phone call with you and I told you, oh, I'm going to give you a free phone call and I'm just going to be here to help you out for an hour, that's not something I generally do. If I did do that and I said, hey, I'm going to, all of a sudden, like halfway through the phone call, I started really trying to hard sell you on something. Really tried just like, basically I wasn't helping you out and I was trying to transition it into a, pay me for me to help you out thing. And I really didn't follow through on what I started. I started out with hey, I'm here to help you and just for free. My time's your time. Really quickly transition into just, hey, let's take this in a serious direction. You'd probably be like, what the heck, man? It's the same thing in so many other different types of dynamics. If you start something in this friendship sense, and a better way than me saying a friendship sense is if you start an interaction that has absolutely no feeling at all of romance, no feeling at all of sexuality, you're going to be going in that direction of just, that's never going to be apparent. That's never going to be there. That's never going to be evoked in the interaction. Now, what I call this mentality, this is kind of transitioning into the second thing. So first thing, you have to be congruent with what you kind of want. You have to be congruent. Also, part of being authentic is letting multiple sides of your character out. There's so many people that really want to just display these perky, beautiful, kind of socially acceptable by everybody sides of their character when they have other things that they need to actually embrace. Like, their assertion, their leadership, they're willing to be vulnerable and to submit into something, their sexual side, their flirtatious side, their aggressive side, their business side, just all these different things. There's a lot of people that when it comes to especially romantic relationships, in the beginning, they're trying to hold back and kind of cover up and suppress all these things. It doesn't work well. It doesn't work well for you. So first thing, you have to start with your whole character, not just part of your character, and then you're thinking later on, I'm going to flip the switch and turn it on. Which goes into this second principle. So a lot of people in this room, we actually have a dimmer switch. And this is the dimmer switch mentality. Okay? a lot of people treat their flirtatious side, or their kind of I'm going to go out and get dates side of their character, as a light switch. They go, I'm walking through my day-to-day life on a regular basis, and I'm like completely turned off. 0%. You're not looking at life with any sense of curiosity or appreciation. You're not really even recognizing your the romantic side that you have within your character, or that side of appreciation, or that side of this may be a stretch for some people, but even your sexual side. You could go through life in a way where you're aware and you're conscious of that side of you, where it's not something you're really running away from, and it's not something that you're going overboard with, but it's just like, yeah, that's a side of who I am, and wow, I'm feeling it here, I'm feeling it there, and that's what that is. Cool. So most people just have this mentality where I'm going to have it completely shut off. I'm not going to be flirtatious. I'm not going to press the edge in any sense. I'm not going to do anything. And then all of a sudden, what they're waiting for is this moment where they could flip the switch on to 100%. Now, for some people, some guys, like I see any guy that's in the just friend zone totally has an issue with this. And no, I'm not trying to be offensive to you if that's you. I mean, heck, reach out to me. I was so severely in those positions for such a long time. And I wish I would have heard what I'm telling you now. I wish I would have heard this back then. But a large issue is they're like, I'm 100% off. And then all of a sudden, once I know that it's completely safe and it's perfectly okay for me to really lay it on thick, I'm going to flip this switch. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, it comes out of nowhere. That'll scare anybody. And it's just, nobody wants that. You're experiencing a person one way, and then all of a sudden it's just, boom, it's just loud and in their face. Now, here's some other examples where you see people say this. There's a lot of guys that used to be into pickup artistry that have ended up being incredibly interested in Vimbasi warriors, because they see that, like, pickup artistry is something we are not at all about. And you'll see, like, guys that are in this mentality, or even women that are in this mentality of, like, I'm going to go get a date, or I'm going to, like, go seduce, which is why we don't really say we're about seduction, but we are about seductive integrity, where it's much more rooted within your character and your day-to-day life, rather than being this light switch thing that you flip on and that really isn't true to your character. You hear a lot of guys that are in this pickup artist community. If you guys know any of them, or if you're in that position, I'm sure that you'd be referring to things in the way that most of the guys in those situations do. They're like, oh, I'm going to go game today. Like, I'm going to go flip this switch. I'm going to go take 3 hours out of my day, and I'm just going to go, like, lay it on thick. But in reality, it's an aspect of their life that they hide from their family. It's an aspect that if they had, like, pickup artists or attraction books on their shelf, they would be hiding them away. That is actually my bookshelf behind me. If you guys zoomed in, I'm sure you'd see a lot of sexual books on there, or just books on human connection and business and all different things. I mean, it's only a small glimpse of one of our bookshelves, but it's a lot of people don't have the congruence to say, like, yeah, this is me. This is what I'm about. I would also debate that's probably because you don't fully believe in the system you're operating with. So you basically need to look at your life, and you need to be able to ask yourself, are you operating with the light switch, even with your mentality? Are you thinking that when you flirt with the opposite sex, or same sex, for anybody that's in that position of watching this, when you're flirting with the people that you desire, are you flipping the switch? Are you viewing it as like a flipping the switch 100% on and then flipping it off, or waiting for that moment for you to know, okay, this person's ready for me to, like, really, really aggressively kind of put a move on them? That's really the mentality that a lot of people carry, and that's what makes even something as simple as flirtatiousness, which, let me remind you, like, look at little children, look at little kids, like a toddler. Toddlers are just, and babies, they're so naturally flirtatious. Just as kids, we were all flirtatious. I'm sure you were, when you were a kid, like, and a babysitter came over, you were this kind of flirtatious kid, and we learned to get away from it. It's really a natural side of our character that we've learned to leave behind, just due to fear of rejection, and also just, these images that we've gotten of, like, James Bond characters, or crazy seduction, like, sleazy guys or girls that are just, like, really, like, landing on thick. And that's really for what brought me success, all the guys that I've led and all the most influential people I've seen where I'm like, wow, this person's really doing very well in their dating life, in their love life, in their relationships, in their marriage, whatever. They don't treat their sexuality or their romantic side as 100% on or 100% off, or at 0%. Instead, they found a way to basically control the dimmer switch on a day-to-day basis. When you're walking around, it should be kind of at a 10% level. That's a side of your character that shouldn't be shut off, but it also shouldn't be blasting 24/7 in no matter what situation. That's just creepy, weird, incongruent, like not applicable. So to give you a question to focus on is, in what ways, now a lot of people, here's another little tip for you, a lot of people also think that when it comes to flirtatiousness, or when it comes to expressing your interest in somebody else, especially men definitely, women don't really seem to have this issue as much, but especially men seem to think that there's only one way to really communicate that. A lot of the times men think that the way to communicate that they're interested in a woman is going to be flat out basically telling her. It's like verbally confirming, hey, I'm into you, and like, hey, baby, what's up, that type of thing. Or it's like, hey, I would kind of sort of like to go out on a date with you, or something like that. There's a lot of men that think that the only way to communicate interest is through words of, oh, you're really pretty, or whatnot. That's actually probably the last form that I personally use. It's the last form that I think a lot of successful people use. You got to realize that there's a lot of different ways that you could declare interest in somebody. It's in the way that you look at somebody. You're saying, hey, who are you? I'm interested in you. Wow, that's interesting. I love the way you just talked about that. And like, yeah, tell me more. It's the way you look at somebody and the way you talk to somebody. It's the way you touch them when you're talking. Hey, yeah. Hey, what's up? How's it going? You reaching out and touching somebody. It's the way that you just have, like, the subjects that you speak about. You're not talking about the weather. You're really going into stuff that you think you're passionate about and they're passionate about, and you're really diving into it. It's the thing that you invite them into. There's so much that you can go in the way that you look at them, in the tonality that you use, in the subjects that you talk about, and the way that you physically touch them. There's so many different ways that you could be communicating your flirtatiousness, your interest. It's not a light switch that you throw on 100% and you lay on thick. So if you're in that position, this is really, like I said, really important for anybody that's been put in the friend zone a little too much. Anybody that's in that position where they don't really, they find it hard to find an authentic place for them to relate their desire and their interest and their romantic side to somebody. This is a really important question for you to focus on, and also really applicable for anybody that's in the Christian, Mormon category, or any type of category that makes you want to hold off a long time on your sexual relation to whoever you're going to go out with. That's okay. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But you do need to realize you're going to be waiting even longer, a very long time, to meet that person that you're going to be ending up being married to or whatnot, if you're treating this side of your life, this romantic expression of who you are, at 100% on, 0 or 100% on. People go after who they want to be in a relationship with, typically not because of many years ago, when women didn't have jobs as frequently, and the dynamic of society was actually very different. If you had a lot of money, you were going to find a wife. It's not the case anymore. Women don't make decisions, and ladies, same thing for men. Like in some different ways. Like, men and women aren't making decisions nowadays, especially the women and the men that the type of people that you would like to be in a relationship with. They're not making decisions based off of comfort and stability of like, oh, I'm looking for a partner that's going to basically boost my pocket and is going to be the most predictable person in the world, and I know everything they're going to say, and like is really boring basically. No, what they're looking for is somebody that evokes a lot of passion within them. you will see so many people do what I'm about to tell you. You will see so many people write down a list of what they want in a partner, right? They could say, I want, like a woman could write down, I want a man that's this and this and that. It makes this much money. It has this type of style. You know, has a great relationship with his mother. All these different things that she's writing down. She will throw that. She will ignore that entire list. That guy could be put in front of her, but if he can't evoke the right type of emotions within her, she won't get in a relationship with him. If he can't make her feel passionate and alive, and feel like she has some of the best memories of her life around him, it doesn't matter if he fulfills the list. It's just a list. And you'll see a lot of people will say, this is the type of person I want. I'm sure you can think of it. I'm sure you can think of examples. There's a lot of people that said, this is the type of person I want to be with. They don't end up with that person. Why? Because they went for probably an emotional reason a little bit more. The people that do settle for relationships that aren't based at all within passion and are based within things like just absolute certainty, like, oh, I'm not really into this person, but you know, they treat me well, so I'm going to be in this relationship. I honestly I feel sorry for people that are in that position, because to me that's not what your love life's meant to be about. That is definitely an aspect that should be existent in your relationship, is trust and just knowing that they're there for you, and you're in a relationship with somebody that supports you in your dreams and your goals, and isn't somebody that you have a hard time communicating and getting along with, and isn't somebody that's going to do you wrong in any sense. That's all stuff that you definitely want. But I would never want that if it came at the cost. I would never only want that, and I wouldn't want you to only have that. You want to have a relationship that's also based within passion and adventure and excitement and vulnerability, and being able to be raw and real with who you are and bringing that to the table, and not having to hide it up or hide it away or suppress it for years because it's not allowed within the relationship. You know, so with all that said, I hope you guys got some good stuff out of this video. I'm going to be posting more and more, and as always, the stuff that's posted here, I would like to tell you that these are really basic concepts. These are also just, we're barely diving into them. And one thing that we are always about is seductive integrity. That's what Vimbasi Warrior is all about. I learned a lot of things over the years, a lot of things that helped me. That doesn't mean that they're all things I wanted to use. It also is, I mean, seductive integrity isn't just getting somebody to fall in love with you. It's about a bunch of other things. Getting a person to fall in love with who they are when they are around you. Even if you get a person to fall in love with you, if they ultimately feel 3 years down the line like, man, I lost who I am. I love this person, but I lost who I am. That's not going to be a good relationship. It's going to go, it's not going to last. And it's unfortunate for both people. So that's really an important thing that seductive integrity focus on. Also, how congruent is it for you? Is your dating life, are you doing things, whether it be an excessive amount of online dating, whether it be pickup artistry, or learning like these tactics, and men and women, don't think pickup artistry only exists just for men. Like, there is some like sleazy tactics out there that women use as well. You know, it's if you're using any type of process that you feel you have to put on and that isn't custom tailored to you, that to me is a problem. You know, even if something works, you got to realize that these goals that you have to be able to get into a dating relationship that you're really excited about, or just create a dating life that you're really excited about, you can't have anything in there that you're not willing to sustain. You know, it'll be a pain for you, and it'll be a pain for the people you're in a relationship with. You don't want to have to put on any type of facade, whether it be, I'm going to go out 4 hours today and do this stuff, or I'm going to places like bars and clubs and things that I really don't want to get involved in. You know, I have to become this character that I really don't agree with. I have to do these things that I really don't agree with and really I don't think are a part of my personality. These are all things that I would say are really critical for you to focus on. So these videos, you can't get that stuff done. That stuff is things that have to be custom tailored to you, and you have to reach out to us for that. I mean, we can't know who you are just through this video. So, and what exactly you're going after, the position you're exactly in, and yeah. So for all those reasons, and for you to be able to get more out of this, please send me an email at aa@vimbasiwarrior.com. I'll put that below. And please send me a question, send me an email, send me if this video helped you. I'd love to hear that it helped you. If you want to hear more and you specifically know what you want to hear more on, please, once again, send me an email. I'd love to be able to hear from you, or send me a message from wherever you found this here. So, hoping this helps. I'm guessing if you're still watching this in the video, it did. And yeah, as always, we are here to thrive. Any excuse really is invalid. Vimbasi Warriors, Andrew Adams, here to help you guys. Talk to you guys later.